You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Friday, the 16th of May. Indian Defence Minister says Operation Sindoor far from over. India and Taliban hold first ministerial level talks over ties. And Nepal Sagarmatha Sambaad kicks off with call for tackling climate change. And now for all the details. As tensions looms between India and Pakistan, Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has warned that terrorism will face harshest punishment. As he added, Operation Sindoor is far from over. We have a report.
As India and Pakistan face heightened tensions, Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has stated that the country's fight against terrorism is not merely a matter of security, but a core part of its national defence doctrine. The Defence Minister, who visited the Bhuj Air Base, one of the installations involved in India's Operation Sindoor, said that under the current ceasefire agreement, India has placed Pakistan on probation based on its behaviour. If the behaviour improves, it is fine, but if there is any disturbance, the harshest punishment will be given, Singh said, adding that Operation Sindoor is not yet over. He emphasised that attacking and eliminating terrorism is the new normal for New India. Criticising Islamabad, Singh claimed that Pakistan will use taxes collected from its citizens to allocate approximately 14 crore rupees to Masood Azhar, a UN-designated terrorist, and highlighted Pakistan's announcement of financial assistance to rebuild the terror infrastructure of Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed in Muridka and Bahawalpur. Questioning the funds extended by the IMF as part of a bailout package, Singh expressed concern that this monetary assistance will be used to fund terror infrastructure. Will this not be considered indirect funding by the IMF, an international organization? Any financial assistance to Pakistan is no less than terror funding, Singh stated while addressing air warriors in Bhuj with India's Pechora air defense system and Jaguar bomber aircraft in the background.
हमने पाकिस्तान को बिहेवियर के आधार पर अभी प्रोबेशन पर रखा हुआ है। यदि उसका बिहेवियर सुधरता है तब तो ठीक, और यदि बिहेवियर में फिर से गड़बड़ी आती है तो उसको कड़े से कड़ा दंड दिया जाएगा। साथियों, एक और बात मैं यहां साफ कहना चाहूंगा कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर अभी खत्म नहीं हुआ है। जो कुछ भी हुआ है वह सिर्फ एक ट्रेलर मात्र था। अब जब समय आएगा, जब भी सही समय आएगा, तो हम पूरी पिक्चर भी दुनिया को दिखाएंगे।
While military action has temporarily ceased, India has stated that diplomatic measures announced following the Pahalgam attack will remain in place, including keeping the Indus Waters Treaty in abeyance. A Reuters report suggests that New Delhi is considering further reducing water supply to Pakistan through the Indus by developing new river projects. Citing sources, the report states that the Indian government has expedited planning and execution of projects on the Chenab, Jhelum, and Indus rivers, three bodies of water primarily designated for Pakistan's use under the treaty. One key plan under discussion involves doubling the length of the Ranbir Canal on the Chenab to 120 kilometers, which runs through India to Pakistan's agricultural powerhouse, Punjab. Additionally, India is exploring projects that could reduce water flow into Pakistan from rivers allocated to that country, according to the Reuters report. While Pakistan has called the treaty's suspension unlawful, India has vowed to keep the agreement in abeyance until Pakistan credibly and irrevocably renounces support for cross-border terrorism. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has declared, "Water and blood cannot flow together."
As a semblance of normalcy slowly returns to border areas in Jammu and Kashmir, following the cessation of hostilities between India and Pakistan, locals from the first village along the line of control have begun returning to their homes. Poonch, located on India's Jammu and Kashmir border near the LOC, was the most affected after Pakistan resorted to shelling civilian populations in response to India's strikes on terror outfits across Pakistan and Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. The shelling caused significant damage to homes and infrastructure, resulted in civilian casualties, and forced many to flee the border areas. Residents who have now returned to their village thanked the government for the understanding between India and Pakistan. A resident expressing gratitude to the Indian forces and government said that while the authorities provided everything for the residents' safety, people were scared due to the situation between the two countries. The entire village was left empty after the situation. We are back here in our village and there is peace again, he added. New Delhi and Islamabad agreed to a mutual understanding for the cessation of military hostilities earlier last week after 4 days of intense exchanges of fire. The agreement was extended to May 18th, according to an Indian Army statement.
हमारी ये दरख्वास्त है कि दोनों ममालिक के रहनुमाओं से कि जंग का कोई मतलब नहीं, जंग से कोई मसला हल नहीं होता, क्योंकि लोग मरते हैं. जो पीछे लोग बैठकर बातें करते हैं ना कि जंग होना चाहिए, वो नहीं होना चाहिए, क्योंकि बॉर्डरों पे लोग मार रहे हैं.
जो ये सीज फायर हुआ था तो बंद किया गया है, तो पहली बार ही ऐसा देखा है सर, क्योंकि इसमें सेफ्टी तो अपना को मिला था. ये मोर्चे वगैरह दिए थे गवर्नमेंट ने, सेफ्टी टैंक, इनमें भी सर बहुत डेंजर हुआ, क्योंकि डर तो बहुत लगता था कि कब गोलाबारी होगा तो इसके बीच आएगा, बहुत हमें डर लगता था.
Days after, India successfully destroyed 9 terror sites deep inside Pakistan and inflicted damage on several of its airfields. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar called for a composite dialogue with India to resolve all contentious matter, according to Dawn. His statement comes after Pakistan and India agreed to a cessation of hostilities. While speaking in Pakistan's Senate, Ishaq Dar suggested that the political dialogue would ultimately have to take place to resolve the issues between the two nations. Dar stated, "We have told the world that we will hold a composite dialogue." In his address, he also shamelessly admitted to requesting the withdrawal of TRF, a Pakistan-based proxy of Lashkar-e-Taiba, in a UNSC statement issued in relation to the Pahalgam terror attack. He once again claimed Pakistan shot down Indian aircrafts but provided no evidence to sustain the claim. Meanwhile, rattled by India's demand to the IAEA for supervision of Pakistan's nuclear arsenal, Pakistan has raised objections on the remarks. On Thursday, Indian Defence Minister Rajnath Singh called Pakistan a rogue nation and questioned whether its nuclear weapons are safe in the hands of such a nation. Raising objections to these remarks, Pakistan termed them irresponsible. In a threatening tone, Pakistan further stated that its conventional capabilities are adequate to deter India. Notably, this is not the first time Pakistan has repeatedly threatened to use its nuclear arsenal against India whenever the two nuclear-armed neighbours are on the brink of war. While India maintains a no-first-use policy, Pakistan has no such policy governing its nukes use. In a first, India's Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar held a telephonic conversation on Thursday evening with the Taliban's acting Foreign Minister Amir Khan Muttaqi. Taking to X, Jaishankar expressed appreciation for Muttaqi's strong condemnation of the Pahalgam terror attack. Slamming Pakistan's false narrative of an Indian missile targeting Afghanistan during Operation Sindoor, the Post stated that India welcomed the Taliban's firm rejection of recent attempts to create distrust between India and Afghanistan through false and baseless reports. The talks also emphasized the importance of enhancing economic ties, developing Chabahar port and facilitating visas for Afghan traders, and addressing the issue of Afghan prisoners in India, according to a statement from the Taliban's foreign ministry. Although India has not yet recognized the Taliban regime, officials from India's foreign ministry have engaged with Afghanistan's de facto authorities over the past few months. However, Thursday's talks mark the first high-level engagement involving top Indian leadership and the Taliban government. Nepal's much-anticipated Sagarmatha Sambaad, a multi-stakeholder dialogue forum aimed at tackling climate change, kicked off today in Kathmandu. The three-day event, inaugurated by Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli, seeks to foster global cooperation under the theme Climate Change, Mountains and the Future of Humanity. In his opening address, PM Oli emphasized the critical need to protect mountain ecosystems and said, saving the mountains is synonymous with saving the earth, oceans and humanity as a whole. He highlighted Nepal's disproportionate vulnerability to climate impacts despite its minimal contribution to global emissions. Oli described the dialogue, named after Mount Everest in Nepali, as a platform for honest dialogue, knowledge sharing and collective action to address escalating environmental challenges. Foreign Minister Arzu Rana Dioba echoed the urgency, declaring climate change a global threat that endangers humanity's future. The efforts of a single country are insufficient, she said, advocating for coordinated global action. Drawing inspiration from the Sanskrit phrase, Vade Vade Jayate Tattvabodha, meaning truth emerges through dialogue, Rana emphasized that Sagarmatha Sambaad aims to spark reflection and innovation solutions. Inspired from India's Raisina dialogue and Singapore's Shangri-La, the Nepal Sagarmatha Sambaad's inaugural edition is expected to draw over 350 national and international delegates, including climate experts, policy makers and environmentalists. Over the next 2 days, 12 parallel sessions will explore themes such as climate adaptation, disaster risk reduction and sustainable green economies. The event will end with the adoption of the Kathmandu Declaration, outlining collective climate commitments. Colombo on Thursday issued a strong condemnation of the recently unveiled Tamil Genocide Monument in Canada's Brampton, labeling the genocide allegations as unsubstantiated and pushing a false narrative for political gain. Summoning Canadian envoy to the island nation, Lankan Foreign Minister Vijita Herath conveyed firm rejection of claims that the Sri Lankan military committed genocide during the final phase of the civil war against the liberation tigers of Tamil Eelam in 2009. A statement from Foreign Ministry said. Rejecting the narrative, the statement slammed Canada and said that the Ottawa itself had confirmed in 2021 in its finding genocide in Sri Lanka. The Tamil Genocide Monument, inaugurated on May 10th in Brampton, was spearheaded by the National Council of Canadian Tamils and supported by Brampton Mayor Patrick Brown. The 4.8-meter stainless steel structure, featuring a map of the Tamil homeland and 9 panels detailing alleged atrocities, has sparked significant controversy. Sri Lanka argues that the monument glorifies the Litte, designated as a terrorist organization by Canada since 2006, with the designation reaffirmed in June 2024. Lankan authorities have said construction of monuments based on fabrications not only mislead the public but also hinders Sri Lanka's genuine efforts towards reconciliation, national unity and lasting peace. They argue such developments are offensive to the Lanka-Canadian relations. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time next week. Have a great weekend. Good night.